Here's a thought. What are the perks that you had as a kid because of your parents and their job? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Yeah, I saw that meme the other day and I thought, you know what? I had some pretty great perks as a kid. My dad, when I was in like elementary school and middle school, my dad drove a potato chip truck. And at the end of the night, he would allow us to go in and pick out one little snack. Sometimes we came out with two.
You probably did.
I know, but I was like, it was so cool. And then if I had friends over, he'd say, okay.
What was the brand? All I can think in my head is that big round tin of chips.
And I think they had those because it was Terry's potato chips. I don't know if you remember Terry's.
No, I don't.
I don't remember much about it. I do know that they had like cheese puffs that were so good. And then there were a couple of things that we couldn't have off the truck. We couldn't have Slim Jims and we couldn't have some type, like they had peanuts and cashews and things. And for whatever reason, those had a higher markup, so we couldn't have those.
During the summer, my grandmother would bring me to work with her.
Yeah.
But she managed a office building.
Okay, so what perk?
Yeah, she had the perk.
What was it?
I loaded the soda machine, and I would pick the weeds off the parking lot. Some perk.
It wasn't much of a perk, but Grandma, did she give you 50 cents or did she give you
I get a
ice
soda.
Cream? See, there you go. So you got free soda.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I got free, cheese curls or cheese puffs or whatever. So, but for a kid, that's pretty cool.
Well, what about you? Join the conversation. We'd love to know.
His morning crew.
Hannah said my mom was the children's coordinator at our library. And as kids, throughout the summer, they got to go on all the field trips and even help during some of the events. So wherever they went on field trips, kids got to go.
There you go, Hannah. Like that.
Charisma said my dad worked at Taco Bell. So anytime I was hungry, craving a chalupa or whatever, and anytime she had sleepovers and they got hungry, they'd all pile up in the car and run down and get anything they wanted on the menu.
No way.
Oh, that would be bad.
I loved Taco Bell back in the day.
I know. Taco Bell, good.
That's kind of like heaven to have that perk from your dad.
Especially when it's free. It's free.
His radio, here is Renee. And Renee, what was the perk? What did your mom or dad do?
Actually, it was both of my parents. They worked at Michelin and retired from Michelin over 30 years. But a big perk that they always had was that we could go to amusement parks a couple of times a year. They would have like these huge Michelin days, and we would get free lunch, like barbecues, and get to be in the park with just Michelin folks. And it was awesome.
I'm wondering, did your parents meet at Michelin?
They did. They did. They were actually on the line. My parents both started on the line checking tires, and over the 30-something years that they were there, they both worked up to be pretty important Michelin people. My dad did two-wheel for all over the Southeast, and my mom was a computer operator. My mom went back to school. So Michelin did a lot for my family.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Meredith has a childhood that I want now. She said, I grew up as the daughter of a summer camp director, so we lived on site year-round. In her backyard, they had horses, football and baseball fields, a ropes course, bonfires, and carnival nights. Out front was a lake with 6 docks, all at her disposal, a blob and a water slide.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah. The staff at the camp prepared their meals, so they ate in the dining hall. And she says, my parents will never truly grasp the amazing childhood they were able, I'm going to cry, they were able to give her living the camp life. How cool is that?
Every summer having that.
No, every day.
Every day of her life having the blob.
I don't even know what the blob is, but
you do.
I really
yes, you
don't.
do. Okay, you go up this tall contraption that's in the water.
Okay.
There is a big float that is humongous.
Okay.
One person's on the end of it. You dive and off the thing, and you hit one end of the blob, and the person on the other end, because it's filled with air, goes flying in the air into the water.
I've never done that, but
That is
I want
the blob.
to. I want to.
That is awesome.
Can we do that now?
I'm telling you. Yeah, because they're all over the place.
I've never seen one.
Okay, we got to get Liz on a blob. She won't go on a roller coaster.
No.
But she'll do the blob. Lenny is here at 800-447-7234. The parent in the perk. What is it, Lenny?
My perk was my father. He worked when we lived in Miami for United Airlines in air cargo. So he used to take me to the tarmac and drive me around when I was a little kid. That progressed to him sometimes having cargo that was never picked up, like a baby ocelot or a little barn owl or something like that. He'd bring home for days till we found out where it belonged.
The baby ocelot? You got to bring home for a couple of days?
Yeah, because they left it in air cargo and nobody picked it up, and the guys were feeding it, he said. So he brought it home. He knew I loved cats, and he brought home an owl once, and, we found it home, so proper home, being wildlife. And so it was wonderful. I mean, I have so many great memories of early years of flying as a child, both with my family and alone on trips we couldn't have taken if he did not work for the airline.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
The 42 years of her life, she was living a lie. Literally. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. She found out that her mom was not her biological mom. So she started an investigation and then realized this one fact after the police told her. She's been a missing case as a baby since 1980.
1980. She's
crazy.
Like 42 years old now. And she found it out, but she was able to go through like some police records and things like this and kind of track down her biological mom.
That meeting didn't go well.
It did not. Well, I can't imagine that it would have.
Well, it turns out that the mother put her up for sale. And then the grandmother, we're talking about the biological now. So the biological grandmother came up with this thought, okay, I know that you just sold your baby. I'm going to put out a missing, person case. And they put, posters up and all this other stuff. And it was all a lie completely.
It was trying to cover her tracks, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So found out there was a reward. I mean, there was... It's quite a story. It's one of those stories that you feel like one day will be a movie, and you won't believe that it actually happened, but it did.
Thinking all these years, that's my mom.
Yeah.
But yet, mom, I mean, oh, wow.
And, severe trust issues, I would think, would come out of this.
Now.
Because your mom, who you thought was your mom your entire life, is not and didn't tell you. And then you find out that your biological mom and your grandma were kind of in on the whole thing.
That's so wild. So nobody knows her name, except for who she's working with at the police department. Right. But there's one young lady that needs a lot of prayer right now.
His morning crew.
You clean yourself how many times a day? Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio. I don't know. I think I'm going to go because I know where Liz is going with this.
And it's not me, I promise you that. But evidently research is saying that you only have to shower about once a week if you don't want
Come on.
to. I take a shower every single day. I take a bath and a shower every single day.
I smell in half a day if I don't take a shower.
Okay,
listen.
Well, they say because like you work out. Sometimes you work out twice a day, right?
I do work out twice a day.
And if you work out, then you probably need to shower a little more often.
I don't look like I work out twice a day.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
Oh, my goodness. But they say that, if you only want to shower once a week, it's okay. Your body will get used to it. Listen, my daughter went on this year-long mission trip, and she was in places like Bolivia, like way up in the mountains. They only showered about once a week. It was very cold. Her body regulated to that. And she started telling me, when I would call her, and I'm like, girl, when you come back home, you better
get a shower.
You better shower a little more
before
often.
you walk into my house.
Yeah, but I do only wash my hair about every 3 days.
Well, I've heard that.
Yeah, because it'll dry out. I mean,
I've heard I wash my hair every day.
I think
I have to.
The guys in my family, they do as well.
Yeah.
But I'm about every 3 days. I mean, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I do color my hair a little bit.
Really? That's not natural?
No.
Oh, come on.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Amanda says, I haven't seen my BFF in forever. Did I do that right?
Well, like forever.
Okay, I tried to do Valley, and I couldn't do Valley that well. Gag me with a spoon.
Yeah, we're close.
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, she lives in Ohio, and it's been like, I can't get to her at all. Amanda's BFF, her good friend. It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
Okay, here's the number you need, 800-447-7234. You text in the word reconnection because that's what Amanda did. She understood that his radio is trying to make a reconnection to remember for you. And she said, hey, I want it to be me. I want to either get my BFF to South Carolina from Ohio or me to Ohio to see her. I just need a hug.
That's all she needs.
She said, I want to see her face. I want to be able to hug her and just us catch up and a lot of that. Oh, my goodness.
And they scream and jump and and the hands in front of the mouth and,
yes.
that whole thing. That'd be cool to see.
I would like that.
So what about your reconnection to remember? What would it look like? Someone's going to win it. It might as well be you. So again, text the word reconnection to 800-447-7234. You can go to hisradio.com or tap on the My His Radio app.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
A brain implant. What does that do for you? It's his radio.
I don't know. Make you smarter?
Oh, good. Okay. Tell me more.
Is that what it does?
Maybe it
makes you a lot
does.
smarter. But one thing that I do know is that there's something that's very similar to what Liz is talking about for people who are paralyzed. This is like a game changer because they're putting implants in the part of the brain that usually moves your hand for people who are paralyzed and they can't move their hands.
Right.
So it's beyond their legs. I mean, is it called
Quadriplegic is where you can't move either.
Okay, so either your hand. Okay, so usually, you can write. Your brain makes the movements. It tells your hand what to do, and then you write. And so they're studying, and they came up with one person, and they did the implant in the part of the brain for this one person that moves your hand. And they say to that person, imagine yourself writing.
Oh, wow.
And so now it does impulses. And it literally writes 18 words a minute for this one guy who's the test subject right now, and he's paralyzed.
So I'm thinking through that. Like if I try to start my name, the L in cursive, I sort of almost move my eyes to write. Is that
Always?
what you're doing? No, like if I'm thinking about it right now, if I could not use my hands, how I would tell my brain to make the L.
I don't think you move your eyes to tell your hand to do. You just tell your hand to move. So you just look down and you're right?
I guess.
Your eyes don't move when you do it.
No, but if I can't use put your hands behind you.
It's not, the
like
thing
that.
doesn't look at your eyes and go, oh, that's what that person's trying to spell. There's literally an implant in the part of the brain that moves your arm, that moves your hand. And so you're telling your hand, okay, write Liz.
Wow.
With 2 Z's.
Make sure you get the second Z.
Yeah, because she does write it with 2 Z's.
That is incredible,
If this works, then this could be a game changer for a lot of people.
Opens up a whole new world of something that they thought maybe for years that they couldn't do. Now they can.
Mornings with Rob and Liz.
When you see a prayer need on Facebook, how do you let somebody know that you're praying for them? It's Rob and Liz, his morning crew on his radio.
I think up until now, I've been doing the little care emoji or the love emoji. Little care one is almost like hugging a heart.
The one they have available that you can click, right? I
Exactly.
usually just pick my emoji from my phone, the praying hands
Oh,
one.
the little hands, yeah.
The one where you type thank you and it comes up those hands.
Oh, yeah. Or sometimes I'll put up praying for you, that kind of thing. But Facebook, because there are so many posts about prayer, they're kind of testing out a prayer feature. And so what it is you're going to click to post a prayer. And I guess it's going to look different. But you can also use there's the like, the love, the care, all those buttons. They're going to add a prayer one to it. I don't know what it looks like, but it's in the test.
I wonder if it's the
phase.
Thank you hands.
I don't know what it's
Which I
gonna
always
be.
use that for letting somebody know I'm praying for them.
Right. So maybe, but it's in the testing phase, and they're hoping by the end of the year it'll be available. I don't know why it's going to take so long.
I'd use it.
But I would use it.
I'd use it obnoxiously.
Would you?
Yeah.
Obnoxiously?
That way Facebook knows we are serious about it.
Oh,
and
true.
we'll keep
Sending
it.
that message, yeah. And posting a prayer, I think that's a great way to say, this is a little different. I just kind of want you to pay attention to it. So I do like that. Hopefully it'll be available on a Facebook near you soon.
His morning crew.
Amy is so excited. Amy is going to be playing in a college golfing championship. It's His Morning Crew with Rob and Liz.
She even has this nickname. It's Amazing Amy.
Mm-hmm.
And she got that nickname a couple of years ago because she made this big impact out on the golf course. She has Down syndrome, and she was playing with a pro a couple of years ago, and people are like, she's good
That's awesome.
at golf. Amazing Amy. So now Amy is going to be the very first golfer with Down syndrome to play in a college championship. Actually, she did that a week ago.
I love this. This is just the best story. Because I'm sure, at first when she wanted to golf, there were some naysayers. There's always naysayers, right? Who said, I'm not so sure she can do this or be that successful. Are you kidding me?
Oh, come on. She's so good. She's got a fan base now.
I love that. Can we get on, follow her on social media?
Oh, she has more followers than Justin Bieber.
Does she?
No.
That's
But
okay.
she should.
He has a lot.
Because she is Amazing Amy.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Saving lives with Legos.
Cool.
Legos. He calls it the E-Ventilator 2020. His name's Anthony. He's 12 years old.
Wow.
He's in the 7th grade. And all the shortages that were happening at a time because of COVID, he's like, I've got to do something. Colleges are making ventilators now. I'm going to do something. So he put his Legos to work, literally made a ventilator out of Legos. Quite amazing. And there's this big competition that's up in Illinois where he's from called the Kids Idea Tank. He entered it into the Kids Idea Tank. He could win $1,000 if this thing wins.
I mean, I haven't seen the other entries, but I'm thinking he should win.
Well, yeah. And it's
sounds-
quite sophisticated when you take a look at this on how it works.
And just to think he was probably at home playing with his Legos, knew this contest was coming up. That's how some of the best ideas happen. Like if you sit around and think about ideas, they don't always come to you. You just let it happen. And man, great things can come out of that.
Yeah. And the way he made a ventilator out of Legos is absolutely amazing.
Pretty cool kid.
So, Anthony, way to go, man.
His Morning Crew.
Hey, if you're going to fight over them, don't sell them. And they're not. It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew on His Radio.
Walmart and Target said they're not going to be selling anymore, at least for now, those Pokemon cards or any of the sports cards because the prices, for whatever reason, are just going through the roof and people are starting to fight over them.
Isn't that crazy?
In the stores. Like, why?
And yeah, exactly. They're just Pokemon cards.
It's just a baseball
And you
card.
said, and what else? Baseball?
Well, sports cards. So, we're a baseball family, so I know about the baseball cards, but I think they probably carry maybe wrestling cards or other game
NFL,
cards. Probably,
anything
yeah.
that's sports related, and
Yeah.
Pokemon. That's
And
nothing to
Pokemon.
do with sport.
No, but Pokemon cards, I know that my kids have some. And, especially my older son will come to me and be like, this one's worth like $30 now. This one's worth $60 now.
And so
I'm like,
people are trying to get them,
I'm like,
sell them for a
sell
higher
'em?
price,
Right.
and people are literally fighting in the store over them?
in the store.
Oh, come on, really?
Because I guess they're selling out so quickly as well. And then, yeah.
So my son was into, Eli, my youngest, was into Pokemon.
Yeah.
And he'd say, it's not Pokemon, Dad.
I almost corrected you.
Yeah. So now that's all I ever say.
You have to say Pokemon just to
I
get under
have
his
to,
skin.
just so he'll tell me, no, it's not Pokemon, it's Pokemon.
Yeah. Well, that's a
Pokemon.
dad thing to do because I
Oh,
almost
yeah.
did. I was like, Rob, it's Pokemon.
No, it's Pokemon.
Rob and Liz.
His Morning Crew.
Joseph isn't thinking about himself. He's thinking about his wife. Really wants this for her. It's Rob and Liz, His Morning Crew on His Radio.
Yeah, he says, my wife and her best friend Marie haven't seen each other in a couple of years because Marie lives in Australia. So he texted the word reconnection to 800-447-7234 because he wants their reconnection to happen. Wants his radio to put this thing together. Said not only the pandemic, but Australia had those wildfires. And so Marie and her family have not gotten to come back to the States. And of course, they haven't gotten to get to Australia, but would love for them to get together. They would be ecstatic if they got this reconnection.
Hope that happens for them.
I do too.
Their reconnection to remember. What about you? If you could have a reconnection to remember, I mean, it's been what, March 2020 since so many
14 months.
people have been separated from each other. So do this. Text the word reconnection, just one word, reconnection, to 800-447-7234. Tell us how we can make a reconnection to remember happen for you.